All right, let's talk about a puzzle that drives so many traders crazy. How can you have a perfect strategy, a winning system, and still lose money? Well, the answer isn't buried in some complex chart. It's in your head. Today, we're diving deep into trading psychology.
So let me ask you, what do you think is the hardest part of trading? Seriously, is it finding the right stock? Reading the charts? The data actually shows that even traders with profitable systems end up failing. How is that even possible?
Because the real game, the real battlefield, it isn't on your screen. It's the battle happening between your ears. You can have the absolute best system in the world, but if your psychology is working against you, you are basically hardwired to lose. Okay, so let's step into that arena, shall we? This first section is all about trading's inner battlefield. This is where we're going to map out the mental landscape where the real wins and losses actually happen.
So what is trading psychology, really? At its core, it's the science of why we click the mouse when we do, especially when we're under pressure. It's the study of those emotional triggers that make one person panic sell while another one stays cool. It's basically the hidden code behind every single trade you make. Now, every battlefield has enemies. And in this next part, we're going to come face to face with your internal foes, the powerful emotions and, those sneaky mental shortcuts that are basically designed to wreck your best laid plans. The most famous enemies, of course, are fear and greed. Think of them like a two-headed dragon, each head pulling you in a different, disastrous direction. Fear? That's what makes you sell a winning trade way too early, or freezes you up so you can't even take a good trade when you see one. And then there's greed. That's the voice telling you to hold on to a loser just a little longer, hoping it'll turn around, or to chase a hot stock with way too much money. Both of them, they just absolutely shred your discipline and your account. But honestly, it gets even trickier. The big, loud emotions are one thing. The most dangerous enemies are the quiet, sneaky ones that you don't even see coming. These are your cognitive biases, the little mental shortcuts your brain takes that can lead you completely off a cliff.
First on the list is confirmation bias. This is basically your brain's love for being right. It creates this little echo chamber for you. So if you think a stock is a sure thing, you'll start subconsciously looking for every news article, every tweet, every comment that agrees with you, while totally ignoring all the red flags screaming at you. It feels great to be validated, but man, it can be a devastatingly expensive habit.
And then you've got loss aversion. This one is a doozy, and it's wired deep inside all of us. Scientists have actually found that the psychological pain of losing, say, $100, is about twice as powerful as the pleasure you get from gaining that same $100. Think about that. This is the single biggest reason why traders let a small, manageable loss turn into a catastrophic one. We are literally hardwired to avoid the pain of admitting we were wrong.
Okay, so knowing the enemy is half the battle, right? Now, let's arm ourselves. In this next section, we're building your practical trading toolkit. These are the weapons you absolutely need to defend both your money and your mind.
Your number one weapon, your foundation for everything, is your trading plan. And I'm not talking about a vague idea in your head. I mean a written down, concrete document. This is where you define your goals, your exact rules for when you get in and out of a trade, how you manage risk, and how you're going to review your own performance. It's your map through the chaos, designed specifically to keep you on the right path when your emotions are trying to take over.
And within that plan, there is one tool, one idea that is more important than any other when it comes to defense: risk management. Look, a trader's first job isn't to make money. It's to protect the money they already have. That is the key to surviving in this game long enough to win.
A huge part of that is understanding the risk-reward ratio. So, for example, a 3-to-1 ratio means you're risking $1 for the chance to make 3. With a ratio like that, you only need to be right a little more than a quarter of the time just to break even. This is how the pros stay in the game. They build a mathematical edge that can handle a whole string of losses.
And to enforce this kind of discipline, you use a stop-loss order. Seriously, think of this as your preset ejection seat. It's a completely logical decision that you make when you're calm and rational, and it executes automatically when the market proves you wrong. It's your ultimate defense against wishful thinking, against greed, and against that powerful loss aversion we just talked about.
But here's the thing. All the tools and plans in the world won't help if the person using them isn't in the right headspace. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important step: building a winning mindset. This is where we go beyond just rules and really start to master the craft. A truly winning mindset is really built on these 5 pillars. It's the discipline to actually follow your plan when you're tempted to break the rules. It's the patience to sit on your hands and do nothing when there isn't a good opportunity. It's the resilience to take a loss, shake it off, and be ready for the next trade without getting emotional. It's all about shifting to objectivity and continuous learning, becoming a student of the market, not its victim.
You know, this quote we pulled really just hits the nail on the head. The entire goal of working in your psychology is to shift how you make decisions, from being impulsive and emotional to being informed and driven by data. That right there is the difference between an amateur and a pro.
Okay, that all sounds great, but how do you actually build this kind of mindset? It's not magic, it really comes down to consistent practice. Our sources point to 2 key habits that are incredibly powerful.
First up, trading journaling. And this is way more than just writing down your wins and losses. It's about recording what you were thinking and feeling when you made the trade. Over time, you'll start to see your own patterns. Like, wow, I always make dumb trades right after a big win. The second practice is mindfulness. Things like meditation can seriously reduce stress and improve your focus, letting you just observe your emotions without letting them take the controls. It's a powerful combo. Journaling gives you the data, and mindfulness gives you the control.
So you see, in the end, the market is just a giant mirror. It's the most brutally honest mirror you'll ever find. It doesn't care about your ego, your hopes, or your fears. It only reflects your discipline, your preparation, and your emotional control. So the real question isn't whether you can beat the market, it's whether you can master yourself. When you look in that mirror, what will it reflect about you?
अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें।